Thank you, esteemed panelists and members in the August audience. Safe to say good morning because I think this is the right time to say good morning. We are experiencing sunset, so it's good evening for me. Well, this topic was listed yesterday, but due to paucity of time, I was shifted to the present session. This is a topic in which Dr. Joe Enrole, my mentor, as well as the convener of this conference and a senior author of this study, and we are taking baby steps because genomic entrepreneurship is a new area which is slowly germinating in India per se, although it has got some wings in Europe and America. So on day one, I had presented on the genetic factors that ensure entrepreneurial success. And today that was, suppositions, approximations, hypotheses, etc., etc. And today there are some confirmations. Yes, genetics does play a role in entrepreneurship. As usual, starting with a nice quote, the fundamental unit of selection and therefore of self-interest is not the species, not the group or the individual. It is the gene, the unit of heredity. This is Richard Dawkins, a natural biologist of an evolutionary biologist from UK. He had said that it is the gene that dictates, the unit of heredity that dictates everything: success, failure, no success, no failure, entire gamut of business and economic activities. So, ladies and gentlemen, conferences will come, conferences will go. But it's high time that we inject some new ideas. As students, as faculties, researchers, and advocates of business and economics or commerce, we need to now infuse new areas in the nature under the umbrella of interdisciplinary and intradisciplinary also. It's high time that we dovetail management with neurosciences, radiology, neurology, genetics, molecular biology, cellular biology, heredity, anthropology, and a whole gamut of interdisciplinary studies, because now, like globalization in the trade and commerce world, even in the academic world, it is now opening up. There are no boundaries marked. Research in entrepreneurship, as we all know, is a very complicated game. And the question has always been like whether leaders are born or made or developed or adopted. We propose to say that whether entrepreneurs are born, made, developed or adopted, because entrepreneurship is also leadership, even if it is at the startup level. And what makes the entrepreneur think outside the box? First question, does it think outside the box? If yes, why? If not, why not? And how is he pursuing the avant-garde paths to attain his goals? Remember Alvin Toffler in his book, where he has mentioned various waves, right? So today management is experiencing inestimable waves. Waves which are measurable, non-measurable, felt, non-felt, perceived, not perceived, seen, unseen, observed, not observed. What do? There is C3, chaos, calamity, and confusion. So the prime focus, ladies and gentlemen, is to have an eye on the managerial business economic wave. This is a small part of our work which we are doing, and this is also going to form the basis of our forthcoming book, The Decisive CEO, right? So this deals with complex, deep-rooted problems, gears, techniques to dissect the market demand, assess the expenses, all futuristic forecasting, and finally to appreciate the competitive dynamics. Where are the challenges of the 360 degrees that we are encountering? From which degree, from which angle, and in what intensity is that competitive force going to dash against us like a meteor dashes against the earth? So research in entrepreneurship, unfortunately, in my part of the planet, has largely ignored biological factors. The reasons I will not be able to advocate, but it will stir a lot of controversy. And it is suffice to say that we, in this part of the world, are shy. The Honorable Chair will also agree with that because he is a senior professor from the world of management. And the emerging trend, ladies and gentlemen, is social and behavioral sciences, heredity, hormones, body processes, the neurosciences, which we term it as the pillars of biology. So quantitative genetics and molecular genetics. I was startled to learn that there is a new field that has come up: cellular economics and molecular economics and genetic economics. Great. We said, why not capture it, rupture it, and optimize it? So there are certain paradigm changes in the methodological structures, theoretical structures, as far as the biology and entrepreneurship is concerned. Fine. Which has a direct reflection on the genetic architecture, the genetic algorithm. As the chair was mentioning, algorithm is nothing but a sequence of actions, all acting and interacting within themselves on brain and biology of entrepreneurs. The moot issue today is there a genetic predisposition towards entrepreneurship? The answer is a bold, underlined, italicized, Times New Roman, or Arial Black 32, yes. So some of the waves, taking a cue from Alfred Toffler, with due regards, he had mentioned a set of waves, and we are now expanding that set of waves. So today there is a heterodox wave. Heterodox economics and heterodox entrepreneurship is coming up, catching up. Heterodox means we don't, in simple layman's parlance, we do not discard the old theories, models, and axioms, but with respect to those, we profess and offer set of theories, axioms, and hypotheses, which may not be telling, which may not be in consonance with them, but they do pose a good challenge, a new wave of definition and connotation. Then you have the genetic waves and the molecular waves and the cellular waves. The human body, which is composed of genes, molecules, cells, RNA, DNA, etc., neurons, they are now offering new theories and models, which Professor Joe and I, with due regards, we have published a few papers on this. Then there is a hereditary wave. For example, on day one, we presented a paper. This was primarily reflective of family business. Do the parents hand over their business to the children, and are the children hereditary wise well equipped to take over? Then this problem of infoplosion, this is information explosion and infotectonics, shifting of waves and information and all, information wave. Then you have the capacity approach wave. Do we have the capacity to face Buka, Bunny, RUPT, Tuna? Yesterday I presented all this. Then there is an experimental wave. Everyone loves to experiment. Some are inquisitive to experiment, some are scared, but they experiment just to know whether they are on the right lines or there's a kink, K-I-N-K, kink. Then you have the emotional, cognitive, evolutionary, cognitive dimensions. Then artificial intelligence is now coming up in a big wave. This artificial intelligence we are rebaptizing as synthetic intelligence or fabricated intelligence, because this is artificial in nature. We have made the algorithms, we have given the command to the machines, we have given command to the robots, and whatever they are giving us, even chat GPT, is it a new thing? Absolutely not. It is just like a scavenger collecting all the information, putting it in its own words, and then it is giving us something. And when we take that, copy paste it on the plagiarism checker, it is saying 100% unique. Read a comment by Noam Chomsky last week. He has said that this is going to eat natural intelligence. So today, the world sees a neuro wave, a wave which is commanded by the brain, eyes, tongue, skin, and nose, right? And genetic and biological markers have now entered the world of entrepreneurship, whether we accept it or we do not accept it. Right. So, is entrepreneurship a genetic trait? Yes, certainly yes. Some may say it is not. If somebody disagrees with us, we welcome them today to join our project, experiment with us, and be a part of history. Is there a need to sync molecular genetics and entrepreneurial data? Yes. Does it mean that entrepreneurship is in genes? Perhaps, underline, perhaps. Do genes determine entrepreneurial success? Yes, they do. And can this predict response to behavioral intercession? Yes, they can, because the genes, the molecules, and the cells and the neurons, they actually are cursors, drivers of behavioral intercession, behavioral tendencies, and behavioral output of a rational human being. And can genetics calculate retort? Yes, they do. And whatever questions have been posed in the next 3 bullet marks, the answer is a yes. Maybe a tall claim, but no, we are now on the verge of proving it experimentally in the laboratories. So there is an emerging intersection of genomics, neuroscience, and entrepreneurship, and they influence entrepreneurial behaviors. They predict entrepreneurial outcomes. There are challenges, yes, when combining genetics, neuro, and all that. The reason being, like in all other studies, we have limitations. Okay, when we are doing this study, we take only one subject into consideration, because like the eye prints and the thumb prints and the brain prints, no two human being can replicate each other. So whatever study has to be done, it has to be done on one subject, and the findings can be replicated in n number of subjects. So the challenge is that to find a subject, it's a harrowing task. Reason being, they say that, oh, you are exposing us to MRI, you are exposing us to EEG, we will develop mental problems, we will develop Alzheimer, we will develop this, we will develop that. Gentlemen, this is a study which is non-invasive in character. We will not even prick a needle into your skin, but convincing takes time. So we need to synchronize the molecular genetics with behavioral data of entrepreneurs that will offer new explanations. This is the hallmark, new explanations, ranging from mapping genetic proclivities. Like brain mapping, we also have genetic mapping, we also have behavioral mapping. All these offer new projections, new equations, and they give us the new way forward to move on. So this slide, what I'm projecting, is just a glance of what was presented on day one. The main point is that we need to call for an optimization. Optimization means quest for the best, a judicious combination of everything with respect to their limitations, probabilities, and possibilities, not forgetting the factors that are non-conducive to a study, that is VUCA, bunny, rupt, and tuna. I would beg excuse from the old school of thought that this is going to challenge the orthodox philosophy of decision making. But I've already told you that we are not discarding your views. We are just trying to take a baby step forward. And heterodoxically, we are going in for empirical cognitive and neural approaches. The paper that we'll be submitting finally to this conference authorities for their repository or for the publication, we have the entire experimental data carried out. We have the entire experimental data on 2 subjects. No, my mistake, on only 3 subjects. So it's about a 36-page paper, but only 3 subjects. And we have also based our study on eye tracking, which is now the in thing in management. This future thought, genetic basis for entrepreneurial success, I would request all those from the Department of Management, Business Studies, and Economics now to start incorporating the genetic aspect. We need to study, even if we are from the humanities or commerce background like we need to study the genetic basis, because there is no harm in learning, incorporating, experimenting, and testing success or failure, doesn't matter. We need to resolve the methodological barriers. Now the question is, I somehow have a very I would confess to the august audience that I'm puzzled between all the models and methodologies that are given. The mathematicians give us some model, the statisticians give one model, the management fellows give one model, psychology fellows give one model, operation research fellows give one model. Which model to adopt? Some are going for Likert 5, but when you see the net, Likert 19 has also come into play. What do you do? Likert 5, 7, 13, 19, which one to adopt? Now, we can't be adopting that which suits us. As far as our time is concerned, our taste is concerned, our objective is concerned, our methodology is concerned, our intended findings are concerned. So methodological barriers will be there. So what is to be done is, now that this is somewhat related to neurology and radiology, we need to tie up with radiologists and neurologists, like we have done at Mayo Clinic in the United States.
Professor, 2 minutes.
Yes, wrapping up. This is slide number 10 and slide number 11 finished.
Oh, thank you.
So the big question is, does big 5 personality traits play a role? Yes, they do play a role, because it has got a cascading effect on the behavioral of the entrepreneur, and backed up by the genetic and molecular aspects, they are going to give a new world of opportunities. And the final slide before we peel off, biological species are often examples of natural kind, like you and I, the normal human beings. That is why, studies are conducted on rats, rodents, on monkeys, human beings, and even the C. elegans, which is of a recent find. C. elegans, Professor Dino Levy of Israel, he has started working on C. elegans, because all these 4 represent the same prototype of a human brain. And new technologies are opening up into new genetic domains, and thoughts will differ, opinions will be diverse, and arguments will be powerful. This is what a conference is supposed to be. And I'll be happy if there are no questions, at least there should be some contributions that will give a kick to my mind, so that my mind starts galloping now. and we have certain long-standing disagreement. Yes, why not? There has to be disagreement. Only when there is disagreement, then this agreement will lead to some agreement. And it is safe to conclude that molecular biology does have the kind of theory or the conjecture or the model around a set of laws or mathematical laws which are familiar with management sciences. So where is the worry then? Nothing to worry. It's a new world. Thank you very much.